Thanks for joining us for the Member xCite presentation. The Member xCite presentation is informative, interesting to the audience, and showcases the strengths of the presenter as an entrepreneur and their area of expertise. It's not a sales pitch, it's a 10-minute educational and insightful exploration into what they do. And of course, it's exciting.
Today we have Avery Thatcher from Inner Stillness, Outer Chaos with an xCite on how to unlock your productivity potential. For those of you who don't know Avery, she has worked in many different stressful environments as a former ICU RN and has been helping people prevent burnout and reverse the negative health effects since 2015. She strongly believes in addressing the problem at source, which means that we have to redefine what high achievement really means, what it looks like, and how to find the balance between chasing your mission and being well enough to enjoy the success when you get there. Avery is a self-proclaimed super nerd. She's excited to share the research to help you unlock your productivity potential.
So today we're really going to be talking about how to unlock your productivity potential because we want to be able to have the balanced productivity. So in this quick 10-minute little workshop, we are going to talk about the 4 pieces of the productivity puzzle, how to optimize your productivity in each of these puzzle pieces, and then the importance of routine and how to set up a pre-work routine to really unlock that productivity potential. So let's start talking about all those puzzle pieces. There is clarity and alignment, stress management, energy management, and time management. So you see, productivity is so much more than just making sure that you're optimizing your efficiency and function. There's these other components that are arguably more important. And we probably all heard of shiny object syndrome before. And basically what it means is that we're tempted and distracted by things that aren't in alignment with our mission and our goals. Signing up for courses, free trainings, challenges, keeping ourselves busy, all of those things can really slow us down, but we think that we're being productive. But we're learning, and that's something which us as CEOs have embraced, absolutely. But there comes a point where learning is just covert procrastination. If we don't put that learning into action, that's when we're really just distracting ourselves from those obstacles that are keeping us in the same place. So how do we get out of this sneaky procrastination space? We become clear on our goals and our mission, and then make sure that we're doing things to stay in alignment with that. And it starts with writing your clarity statement, because with a really strong clarity statement, you'll be able to know if something's in or out of alignment. Okay, so that's clarity. Let's talk about stress management. And what you might not realize is there's actually 2 different kinds of stress. The stress that we more commonly know is distress. This is the stress that feels heavy and awful, and it causes all kinds of problems. But there's also eustress, E-U-S-T-R-E-S-S, and it's a positive, productive, motivating kind of stress. This is when we're in the zone, we're in flow, we're getting stuff done, and we're just killing it. We're just rocking our goals. And so this is the stress curve based on the Yerkes-Dodson law created by psychologists Roger M. Yerkes and John Billingham Dodson. And it really illustrates the link between productivity and pressure. So here on the left-hand side, we can see that we don't have enough pressure. And when we're in this state, we're wired as humans to kind of sit around and do nothing. And this does not create momentum. It does not have that drive. We don't feel connected to that purpose. And then here at the peak part of this curve, this is when we're in that peak performance space. This is the ultimate eustress space where we're really going after those goals. We have the drive, we've got the energy that we need to support our ability to achieve those goals. But as with so many entrepreneurs and high achievers, it's very easy for us to shoot over the top of that curve and come back down into this side where we're going into exhaustion and burnout. And when we get to the point where we're really unable to function. And the interesting thing is when we're on this side of the curve, we lose access to our higher level thinking brain, our CEO brain. Because if you think about it, if you're running away from a bear, solving that complex tech issue with your website, not a priority. So when we're in that stress out state, we lose access to that higher level thinking part of our brain, which allows us to be productive. And so we can absolutely get back up into that peak performance space with just a couple simple techniques. And one that I'm going to share with you right now. It's called 5-5-5 breathing. And there is a lot of evidence to support this breathing technique. And it really helps you turn off that stress switch. And so all you need to do is take 5 slow, deep breaths for 5 seconds on the inhale, 5 seconds on the exhale. And again, this just really turns off that stress switch, gains access to that CEO brain again. And then, of course, other ways to manage your stress include work-life balance, taking time off, and taking care of yourself, which leads perfectly into the next component of the puzzle, which is our energy. So when we think of energy, we think that we either have an abundance of energy or we're completely fried and we've got nothing left to give. We're just operating in survival mode, which is really just over here on this stress curve. We're basically unable to function. So by not managing our energy well, we're not able to access that prefrontal cortex, that CEO brain. So can you see how if one of these puzzle pieces is kind of out of balance, it throws the whole thing off? So having that right balance of energy means that we're capable of being productive, because without energy, we're procrastinating, we work slowly, we get frustrated about how little we're accomplishing, we're feeling overwhelmed with all that we have to do, and we have no idea how we're going to get it all done. And so the thing about energy is it's both simple and not simple at the same time. It's simple in that we either have things that restore our energy or deplete it. But at the same time, some of the things that restore our energy could work in different ways. So we're not simple beings. We can't qualify your energy as one unit. So we actually have 4 different energy spheres that we need to be aware of. There's physical energy, emotional energy, mental energy, and metaphysical energy. So let's break those all down. Physical energy is pretty easy. It's what we typically define our energy levels by. Emotional energy is a little bit different. It's when you maybe feel drained without feeling tired, like you don't need a nap, but you just feel like you can't do a lot. You're feeling irritable. You've got a lack of interest in things that usually light you up. That could be an emotional drain of energy. And then there's mental energy. And so let's talk about that. We can make important decisions every day that impact us and our lives and the people that we help. And so knowing what drains and restores our mental energy to build that mental stamina is really essential for entrepreneurial success. And this one, more than any of the others, is really key. And so then finally, the metaphysical energy space, we're not really going into too deep into this space. Basically, in this context, I want you to think about it in your contribution to the world, how you make your corner of the world a better place. This is the bigger picture kind of energy sphere. And so we have physical, emotional, mental, and metaphysical energy spheres. So let's look at how all of those interact together. One of my non-negotiables for me during the day is to have a walk with our dog, Dakota. And this drains my physical energy, but it restores my mental and emotional energy. When I teach a workshop like this, it drains physical, emotional, and mental energy, but it restores my metaphysical energy, my connection to my purpose, my mission and drive. So learning how they're all interconnected can be really helpful in optimizing your productivity. And so if I were to optimize my productivity, I would have to make sure that I'm keeping the physical, emotional, mental, and energy work on those tasks that move my business forward. And that'll also boost my metaphysical energy as well, my connection to that contribution. And so high achievers are notorious for taking on too much, pushing ourselves too hard and burning ourselves out. We need to find that balance. And so by monitoring these energy spheres, we're able to create more and be more productive. Okay, so now the moment which you've all been waiting for, we're going to talk about time management, how to get more done in less time, because that's the talked about cornerstone of productivity. It's the ultimate goal, right? But I'm going to tell you a secret. You're asking the wrong question. It's not about trying to do more, because if you're doing that, you're actually making it so you can accomplish less, and what you can accomplish won't be up to the quality and standards that you generally have for yourself. And this further demotivates you, pushes you further down that stress curve decline, and really brings on that burnout. And so this is where energy management, stress management, and having clarity are essential, because the truth is it's not about getting more done in less time. It's about only doing the right things and doing them to the best of your ability. So how do we do this? How do we make sure that we're doing the right things? We learn to stay in alignment with our clarity goals. And so next time you have a little moment, look at everything that's on your to-do list and ask yourself, is this serving or sabotaging my clarity goal? Because the truth is, our beliefs aren't positive or negative. Our habits aren't good or bad. They just are. They can either sabotage or serve us. And so one of the most important things which we can learn how to do is to say no to everything first and give ourselves 5 minutes to convince that it's a yes. And to guide you through this process, I have some questions for you to consider. And because I only have 90 seconds left in this workshop, we are not going to be going through all of these questions today, but go ahead and watch the Facebook Live replay and just pause it here to check these out. They're a great resource to help you figure out if you should say no or yes to this new opportunity. And so is there a hard and fast rule for the number of no's on that list before you should say something or take something on? And no, there's no hard and fast rule, but it's just there to give you a little bit of guidance. Okay, so let's bring everything together now and create a pre-work routine to unlock that productivity potential. It's going to tie all of these puzzle pieces together. So the first part of an effective pre-work routine is to read your clarity statement, to keep your mission and your purpose top of mind before you start that work session. The second part is to practice a round of those 5-5-5 breathing, to turn off your stress switch, to regain access to that CEO prefrontal cortex and that higher level thinking brain. And then check in with your energy levels. See if you need to do something for a few minutes first to boost the energy sphere that you're going to need the most in this work session. And then also planning for some energy recovery after the work session can be really helpful as well. And so finally, set some realistic expectations and goals for how you want to use this work session, what you want to prioritize, and make sure that you're doing your most dreaded and difficult task first. Eat the frog. All right, that is it, friends. Is there any questions that I can answer for you?
Well done. You sounded Australian at the speed you were going there. You're
right?
Visiting us from Australia. I love it. Perhaps you have some questions. I do want to just highlight what I pulled, this covert procrastination, Avery. I thought that I've never heard that, covert procrastination. So it's hidden. You were talking about learning being that. Networking can be that unless you're networking with the people that are in line with. So I'm going to be thinking on covert procrastination for some time. So thank you for that. Any other takeaways from the team here or a question for Avery? Yes, go ahead, Carolyn.
I love saying no first and sitting with it for 5 minutes. I've never, ever heard that. You know, my rule is if it's a maybe, it's a no. If it's clear yes, it's a yes. So I like that. So thank you for that. And your 4 areas within the energy sphere is really powerful. And I really have been working on this in the last few years, and it really has been incredible in regards to, you know, that balance. So thank you. And I love your passion. I just got to say, I love it.
Seriously. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Carolyn.
Chris, you using the electronic hand up. Go for it.
Sure. I guess a takeaway for me, because I used it last Friday when I was talking to some people, was the SOS term, and which is that shiny object syndrome. I think about that every morning as we're not only business building and planning, but it's easy to get sucked into doing everything else. But for me, it's just an awareness of that. I have that on my screen, SOS with a big X on it, right? And just making sure I stay focused in my lanes right now. So thanks again for the reminder, Avery.
Alex, and I'm coming to you, Debbie. This is excellent. Go ahead, Alex.
I just wanted to say thanks, Avery. First of all, because a lot of these ideas resonate a lot with me personally. Many of my articles are along those lines. They overlap to a certain degree. There was so much more that you presented that I heard for the first time. And I actually think that you would be a great guest on one of my next summits if you do speaking at all. But
absolutely, I would be
seeing
honored.
you speak here, I guess you would be a great guest.
Oh, thank you so much, Alex. I appreciate that.
Hold on, Avery, you're supposed to say no, and then get back to him in 5 minutes.
Oh, no, because Alex and I already met. No, this is
all right.
Sure, yes. But yes, you're right. You're right.
Relationships reduce risk. All right.
Exactly.
Debbie, and we'll wrap up.
I love the alignment with our goals and mission. When I launched this business B2B business directory yesterday, and I've been networking, and I love building relationships with people, and suddenly I feel like I'm totally aligned, and it's the most freeing, beautiful feeling. So when you said that, it just resonated with me so much. So thank you. And it's just the things you said is a really nice reminder. So thank you.
Wow.
Thank you for sharing that story, Debbie. I'm so glad that you're in that space. Alignment's beautiful.